Reported speech in English, very important. I'm going to teach you today how to report what somebody's been telling you. You see your friend in the town and she says, I'm going to the shop. I'm going to the shop. If you want to tell somebody else about it, you say, she said she was going to the shop. She said. So there are a few things we change here. We're going to find out today exactly what they are. My name's Dan and this is ISpeakSpokeSpoken.com. Now I've been teaching for 25 years, so I can help you. Let's learn together. Okay, reported speech in English. What are the 3 things you need to do when you report speech in English? We have this changing of pronouns, adjusting the verb tense, and changing the time words. But we're going to come to everything step by step. First, let's look at the changing of the pronouns. So, I am going to the market, she said. So what do I have to do? I have to change the I to she. She said that she was going to the market. That's the first thing I need to do. I also, and we're going to look at this in more detail later with all the tenses, we should have to say, she said, I am going. She said she was going. So was. Am becomes was. Okay, I am going. She said she was going. So we're coming on to that now. This is what we call adjusting the verb tense, and it goes back one, and it's mandatory. It must be done. You have to do it when you're reporting something or when you're telling somebody what somebody else said. So let's have a look at the different tenses and how we do it for each one. Okay, adjusting verb tense, present simple to past simple. Okay, this is the easiest one, the most simple one. I eat breakfast at 7 a.m. Let's have a look at this. Breakfast. This is where our stress is. I eat breakfast at 7 a.m. He said. So we then say, he said that he ate. So we go from eat to ate. Okay, eat to ate, from simple, present simple to past simple. He said he ate breakfast at 7 a.m. That's how we report that. Okay, so it happens with present continuous and past continuous as well. So let's have a look how that works. I am reading a book. Careful with this pronunciation. Book. I am reading a book, she said. Okay, how do we report? She said, so instead of I, it becomes she. She said that she was reading a book. So instead of I am, it's she was. Can you see how it changes? Okay, from I am to she was. She said she was reading a book. Again, going back, and you see that the reading stays the same, so the continuous form stays the same. Okay. Present perfect to past perfect. This is changing slightly again, and of course it goes back one step. Again, as we said before, mandatory, you must do it. I've finished my homework. I have finished my homework. Have a look at this pronunciation, O, homework, and this homework, okay? Homework, and then this is where our stress is. She said, so I finished my homework, she said. She said that she had finished. So instead of I have, it's she had. I and she. Do you see what changes? The I goes to she, like we said in the first part, and then the have becomes had. I have finished, she had finished. Okay, excellent. You can see how it's working now, right? Okay, past simple to past perfect. This is a little bit more tricky, but it does work and you can see how. So I visited Paris last year, he said. I visited Paris last year. He said, so instead of I, it becomes he. He said that he had visited Paris the previous year. You see how this last year becomes previous? That's important because when you're reporting, you have to say that because we don't know the time frame. So unless it's like reported the same day, you have to make these changes. So he said that he had visited. So I visited, he had visited. This is where it becomes the past simple to the past perfect. Okay, previous. Let's have a look at the pronunciation here. Previous. This is our schwa, our famous schwa. Previous. Okay, he visited Paris previous year. Right? So remember, you can download everything that you see today. You can do the quiz, go to the I above, download these things, or you can go on the link that's underneath the description if you're on a mobile or a tablet. So remember that. So it sometimes happens with the modals, and that's what we're going to look at now. Certain areas of English, when you go back a tense, the modal changes too. So let's have a look how it's going to work here. So will becomes would. So I will call you tomorrow, he said. So tomorrow, this pronunciation, let's just have a look. The stress is on the morrow, and this t is our schwa. And remember, this schwa sound happens when we don't stress a vowel, so tomorrow, because it's not the stress part of the word. Okay, so what does it become? So I becomes he. So I said that he would call me, he said that he would call me the next day. Okay, so instead of I will call you, it's he said he would. So will becomes would, and I becomes he, and actually tomorrow becomes the next day, because again, with that time frame, we're not always sure how we're going to report it. If it's on the day, it's maybe okay to get away with, but when you're reporting, usually the next day is what you should use. Okay, so this is how we change from will to would. Happens with can and could as well. So can to could. I can help you, she said. She said, so instead of I becomes she. She said that she could help me. So I can help you, she said she could help me. So said, again, instead of said or said, it has to be said. It's just a straight said. She said that she could help me. All right, good. May to might. Okay, this is a tricky one because it's not always used in English, and sometimes in the English language, people who are native speakers mix this up. So if you know it right, if you follow this, you'll probably be better than a lot of natives. So might to may. I may come to the party. I may come to the party, he said. When we report it, I becomes he. He said that he might. So may here, a, this is a. May becomes might. He said he might come to the party. Okay, excellent. So must to had to. You know how you use must and had to, but let's have a look how it works when we're looking at reported speech. So I must leave now, she said. I must leave now. To report that, she said she had to leave then. She said she had to leave then. This we can actually have as a possibility. She said she had to leave. We can sometimes miss out the then, but if you're looking at it in long term, then you add then, not now, you see. So again, I becomes she and must becomes had to. Can you see how it works now? It's building, you can understand how we do it. Time and place words. Now you notice in some of these things that we've been looking at, these time and place words change. So let's have a look what it actually means. So for example, if we say I'm meeting him here at 5 p.m, she said. So I'm meeting him, this is what the person says to you. I'm meeting him here at 5 p.m. So how do you tell someone else that when they're not here? Well, this is what you say. She said, so again, I becomes she. She said that she was, so am becomes was. I am, she said she was meeting him there. Okay, because you're reporting, you're both in that situation, not in the place that they were. So I am meeting him here, and she said she was meeting him there. Okay, can you see how we're changing that time and place word? And this word meeting, this is where our stress is, and it's this E, long sound, meeting. Okay, excellent. Let's have a look at reporting questions then. So, what are you doing? She asked. She asked what I was doing. So the question becomes a statement almost. She asked what I was doing. What are you doing? She asked what I was doing. You see how it goes? We're kind of moving again one step back in this tense-wise, but also we are talking about the situation as in how it would have been for you standing there being spoken to by this person. It's very interesting the way you change the words. So, reporting questions, reporting yes or no questions. These are slightly different, but let's have a look. Let's just actually highlight on here. So, what are you doing? She said, what are you doing? So, was and are is the one that changes there. So, reporting yes or no questions. Do you like pizza? He asked. Do you like pizza? So, the answer would be yes or no. okay, if you were there in real time. But if you're reporting, you would say, he asked if I liked pizza. So do you like? He asked if. This becomes he asked if I liked. All right, can you see how that works? So if it's a yes or no question, then you know you can say he asked if. He asked if I like pizza. Well, what did you say? I said yes. Okay, so you can make a kind of conversation with this. We can have a think about it later on. Okay, so reporting commands and requests. So if somebody asks you to do something or requests to do something, how do you tell somebody else that? Close the door, she said. She told me to close the door. So if it's a report, then we use this word told. She told me. Okay, oh, told or told. She told me to close the door. So you see, to close, this close actually becomes infinitive. Okay, so she told me to close the door. Because told is your active verb there, so you need the infinitive to put on the door. Changes in pronouns and possessives. Now we had a look at this briefly before. This is my book, she said. This is my book. She said that was her book. So this is my becomes her. So this is my book, she said. This is and is becomes was. So all these rules you can see work integrated together to form the basis of what becomes reported speech. So if you follow all these together, you will find that when you report something, you actually use these rules in the same sentence very often. Okay, let's have a look at the last one. Reporting without a reporting verb. Okay, so we don't say she told or she said or she did. We'll show you how. So I'm tired, he said. He mentioned he was tired. So this is the word we use. We use the word mention. He mentioned he was tired. So I am, because I am, because I'm is actually I am, remember? So am becomes was. So he was tired. Let's have a look at this. I'm tired, he said. He mentioned he was tired. This is a bit of optional information during our conversation. All right, so like I said, a lot of these rules work interchange with each other. So have a look at the slides. Go back on that download, have a go with the quiz, watch the video again, and practice in real life and see how you get on. I think you'll be much better at English than some English people after this. Well done. See you later.